So Australia get over the line, 15-16 against Scotland, but Scotland are gutted. They know that's the sort of game they should be winning. And I thought you were going to score.
Ask a better question, you get a better answer.
Hi guys, welcome back. So we had a really close game to start with in the Autumn Nations Internationals. I couldn't watch the New Zealand-Japan game because that wasn't being shown in the UK, but we start with this one. It was exciting. It started off quite high quality and kind of dipped from there. Certainly Australia dipped pretty badly in quality. Scotland score a couple of worldy tries, but it's not enough. They somehow led Australia back into the game. Australia were kind of hanging on a bit, but that's rugby, that's sport. They do enough, get the job done. Scotland are kicking themselves, I'm sure. A bit like in Argentina, where they thought they should be winning these sorts of matches. They aren't. That's the problem. They were pretty two closely matched sides, but Scotland were the more energetic, more incisiful in attack, but they couldn't get over the line. Anyway, guys, I had predicted a slight win for Australia. So on my Pint Predictor game, I do actually win a Guinness for a friend. Quick plug there. Join if you want to, over 18s, code analyst, get involved if you haven't already. But I didn't think Australia would be this poor. I thought they might be a bit slicker. They were dropping balls all over the place, to be honest. Now, early on I wrote I thought this was going to be a lung buster. Neither side really wanted to put the ball out of play. They wanted to move it a lot, but that kind of slipped a bit as we got on. It went to a bit more kick and bash, to be honest, but certainly the beginning of the match was pretty attractive. Scotland couldn't really shift the Oz maul. Australia would be happy with their start. They were looking the most dangerous. A couple of nice breaks from McDermott. He was looking pretty dangerous because the Australian attack was holding everyone else. Couple of good jackals as well from Scotland as they were hanging on in this first 10 minutes. Richie Schoeman doing well on the floor. Schoeman is a real menace in the breakdown, although he can give away some penalties as well. He's quite an interesting player. Then we get our first wow moment from Scotland. It's a great team try, launched off a line out. It's the only chance they've had in the first 10 minutes and they take it wonderfully. Lovely soft hands, Tui Peloto and Kinghorn taking the ball right to the line before just popping it off. Smith, a nice couple of dummies and steps, goes over. Great start, 5-0. Nasty little miss though from Kinghorn. He's not really a top class goal kicker, I don't think. Let me know if you think I'm wrong. But like I said, it was a pretty good start for Australia. They deserve points and they do get a penalty, 5-3. So everyone's off and running. And with only 20 minutes gone, both sets of players were sucking in oxygen. The pace of the game was quite fast. I wondered if fitness could be a deciding factor, and it did look like Scotland were the fresher throughout this game, although it didn't get them over the line. Now on 23 minutes, I make a note that Australia seem like they're on top to me, but Scotland are the more lethal. One counter-attack and it looks like it's an easy 3. I'm not sure why they turn it down in a game that's going to be as close as this. Off that decision, Scotland go the same way. Quite a simple setup and then just wind it back to the right. Tuipulotu is in the corner, but terrible. He looks where he's going, not on the ball, drops it with the line at his mercy. Just unforgivable stuff for a guy who actually had a good game, carried the ball incredibly well, made good meters. But that's the sort of thing that sticks in a selector's mind. So I don't think it's going to get him into a starting team, but we'll see. Apart from that, he probably did have a good game. Half an hour in, we get a quite funny moment. Schoeman goes Scooperman and jumps over a tackle inexplicably when Scotland are on top. Gives away a penalty, wastes a good attacking chance, and that was the theme. Scotland definitely gave away some silly penalties when they were on top and had the pressure on. And at this moment, it's nice to say it, but the refs, I think, had a really good game. The team, Luke Pearce in the middle, clear, confident, some good communications, a few decisions to make, but it's nice to compliment a reffing team. Let me know if you agree. Gilchrist this time, though, a couple of minutes later, he gets the dodgy penalty and a line out. It's becoming an issue. 3 or 4 in that first half, just killing them when they don't need to. The Australian theme is they're developing lots of good gain line pressure, but they're very messy around the ruck with the ball squirting out, making McDermott look like a bit of a mug at times, a bit harsh sometimes. Now, towards the end of the half, Australia do get more points on the board from some decent pressure, so 5-6, although Scotland probably should be 7-6 ahead, but it's finely poised. Now, at the start of the second half, Scotland start strong and it looks like they could take the game away from Australia, starting off with a fantastic try. Another messy attack from Australia. Foley makes a bit of a hash of the wraparound and they've committed all their backs into the attack, so there's no one deep. Kinghorn hacks on and shows the advantage of having a 10 with back 3 pace. Great pace to score, 12-6. So that's good stuff there. And Australia are a bit on the ropes at this point. Kinghorn puts a huge 50-metre kick down the pitch. That's from a penalty to give a 5-metre maul. Australia are in real danger of imploding through their own frustration. Scotland get a penalty, this time decide to take the points to go over a converted try ahead. So that's a good call, 15-6. It really looks like they're well on top here. You know, the back three of Australia making a bit of a mess of things. And then a really unlucky moment, I think, for Scotland. The really tall Youngs tries to go low to clear out McDermott, who's dipping his head. Just catches his chin with his bicep. I'm not sure what else he could have done. Technically, it's a yellow, but seems really tough. Let me know what you think of that one. And it lets Australia back into the game. They were tired, but now they're a man up, if you like, plus that penalty. They get a couple more penalties. They go up the pitch with those penalties. Too many phases on the front foot for Australia. Frost with a nice slip pass to Slipper, the skipper, to slip over. Try saying that one quickly after a few Guinnesses. It's a try. 15-13, the yellow card gets them back in, but it was nicely taken. A couple of little notes here. I think Michael Hooper was very quiet this game. I said before the game he's always an 8 out of 10. He wasn't in this one. Maybe that's because of his time out. And for the two sides that like to play a lot, the wingers as well didn't touch the ball a lot. I thought that was interesting. Now with 15 minutes to go, Scotland are still looking very energetic. They're still looking probably the most clinical side. But then a really bad error. 3 Scots are waiting to hoover up a penalty kick that's not going into touch. No one calls for it. It goes into touch. That was really bad. Then more Scots in discipline. Keep Australia into this. 15-16 from a penalty. I'm not sure how Australia got into that lead. Scotland will be absolutely devastated by letting them get back into it. But fair play from Australia. You've got to take advantage when those chances come. It's messy attack from Australia. They're putting some phases together, but it doesn't look that lethal. But they're just pinning Scotland back, making them play from deep. Scotland are getting pretty desperate. They have to attack from deep. They're still looking sharp, but it's hard to make it the whole way up the pitch. Then potentially the match-winning moment for Scotland. Tupou gives away a very dull penalty. I mean, it's clear that he hasn't released, or he's got his arms on the floor when he tries to jackal. Bit of a coach killer penalty, but it's still 45 metres out on the angle. Big decision. Now, this is the sort of kick that you want your goal kicker to take to win the match. But Kinghorn isn't quite that good enough a goal kicker. Pulls it wide, doesn't look too confident. Had a good game, but he's just not the best goal kicker. Then Australia, pretty clever actually. They can't put the restart out on the full, and White puts in a really clever grubber drop kick restart to put it into touch, and Australia win ugly, 15-16. So let me know what you thought of that game. It was messy from Australia, but they got the job done. Scotland had some really good play, and they've got to be a lot tidier, give away a lot less penalties. They should be winning that sort of game if they want to be a threat in the Six Nations in the coming World Cup. So let me know all the comments below, and I'll catch you next time.